Hello World on Twist, and thank God I get to do part two of this Raw recap and review on June 1st from Torino, Italy. And if you saw part one, you would know what happened, right? What happened? You ain't seen part one? Click part one, man. Hurry up and click part one. I'm playing. But if you have seen part one, welcome back, man. We're getting on to moving on with the show, and we get the women's King of the Ring Fatal 4-Way match, and we got Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez versus Julia, who has like a basically like a hometown advantage going on because she is half Italian, half Japanese. You know, the crowd gives her a big pop on her entrance, and last challenger is Lash Legend. Speaking of Lash Legend, in the ring when the bell rings, they all begin to circle her because she is the biggest woman in the match. But they all try to attack her, but Lash is knocking her down, punching her back and forth. Julia ends up trying to jump on her, but Lash ends up catching her. That leads to Io going to the outside, landing a springboard drop kick onto both of them. She has the advantage now, but then Roxanne from behind attacks Io, punching her in the back. Io tries to get the advantage, this time trying to do an Irish whip on the Roxanne, but Roxanne hits it with a big kick. After that kick, Lash Legend gets us to the ring, hits a big kick on the Roxanne, and then at least Julia running from behind, jumping on the Lash Legend's back, putting her into a chokehold, throws her off of her. She ends up grabbing Roxanne and grabbing Io Sky, lifting them both up, but then Julia hits a big kick onto them, knocking everybody down. Then she grabs Io Sky, lifts her up, to a slam, and then that leads off to a commercial break with her getting hyped with the Italian crowd. Back from the commercial break with Roxanne Perez and Julia doing some teamwork, grabbing Lash Legend, throwing her to the steel step. They both try to get into the ring, but they both pull each other down, and they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Roxanne's like, I think it's better if we're teammates together. She's like, really? Okay, let's do that. They both try to go into the ring, but Roxanne fake it out, pull her down, grabs her, slams her to the table, back and forth, then gets back into the ring, goes for a pin on Io Sky, who I guess during the commercial break got hit with a move, but Io Sky kicks out of the pin. Then that leads to Roxanne hitting the big uppercut on the Io in the corner, tries to go to the middle rope to do a little dive, but Io Sky intercepts her, hits her with a drop kick right there. Then they listen to the Irish whip situation where she does the little drop kick into the slide down to her leg, knocking her down. Then the basement drop kick on her right there. Then tries to get into the ring. Irish whips Io Sky. She jumps through the apron, grabs her, does the apron pull on Julia. Then goes to the top rope, hits a missile drop kick onto Julia and Roxanne. Does the little kip up. Then hits the double bullet train, one of them. They both in the seated area. But Lash Legend gets into the ring. Big choke on the Io Sky. Ragdolling her around. She tries to lift her up, but Io Sky does that roll through stump right onto her. But Julia gets back up, grabs Io Sky, throws her outside the ring, and then hits a Arrivederci, which is a big knee onto Lash Legend. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, stop by Roxanne. Roxanne is fighting back and forth with Julia, trying to land a Russian leg sweep on her, but then Io runs into the ring. She gets involved. Roxanne stops it, hits them with a DDT on the Io, Russian leg sweep on Julia at the same time. Then she does the jumping knee onto Io Sky, goes for the pin. 1, 2. Kick out from Io though. At least Roxanne being in the corner. Io Sky runs over to her. She jumps over her, tries to land her with pop rocks, but that gets reversed by Io Sky by basically hitting her with an Alabama slam to Roxanne on the turnbuckle. Look nasty, hit her neck and everything. Puts her back down. She tries to go for the over the moonsault, but at least the Julia stopping her at the top rope. They're fighting up the top rope back and forth. And that leads to Roxanne didn't get involved, fighting up there. Lash Legend gets into the ring, picks up Julia and Roxanne for a double power bomb. Picks up Julia, picks up Roxanne, hits her with a lash extension, her finishing move, then does a lash extension on the Julia. She goes for the pin, but as she's going for the pin, Io Sky does the double stump on the Lash Legend. Lash Legend rolls outside the ring. Io then hits the over the moonsault on the Julia. 1, 2, 3, big dub for Io Sky. Good back and forth between all the women. Good exciting action. I don't think it's as good as the first Fatal 4-Way match, but I enjoyed it. I think I'm going to give that a 4 stars. I low-key thought Julia would get the hometown win. I'm surprised she took the hometown loss, which is even crazier, you know. But good dub for Io Sky. And going to look really high to win Queen of the Ring. Then we get a backstage segment with Maxine Dupree with Otis and Tozawa. She talking to Adam Pearce saying, Why did you look over me going onto this Queen of the Ring tournament? You know, Pierce is like, you know, it's a lot of heavy hitters at the thing. You know, you're a former IC champ. I see you. You know, if anything get messed up into the ring, I'll put you in. But Maxine ain't rocking with that. Otis Tozawa is like, hey man, you good? Like you good? Like I'm fine. You know. And she said also you've been hanging out with Austin Theory a lot, and a lot on the show. Austin Theory, you see Austin Theory and Maxine Dupree talking a lot throughout the last month or 2 months or so. And they're like, you know, he's trouble, man. I don't know if you should be around. She's like, hey, I got it undercover. Y'all just need to trust me. Then we get another segment with Kathy Kelly, then interviewing Bayley and Lyra and talking to them because they're both in the Queen of the Ring tournament, and they're like, you know, how do you think it's gonna mess around with you guys? You know, because you guys are both a tag team and getting involved. You know, Bayley's talking like, you know, it's not gonna be a problem and everything, but then Lyra says, hold on, stop, and then walks over to Sol Ruka, who's walking backstage. He says, you know, I'm just so glad you finally get the belt off of Becky. You're gonna do him proud. You really do deserve this, you know. But also, I couldn't fight for that belt for a long time, you know. So and so it's like, you know, I get what you're saying. You know what? You want to challenge me for the belt? I'm down with that. That'd be cool, man. And then Bayley's like, hey, we was talking in an interview, but Lyra's like, look, I got a chance, and Bayley's just like, bitch, you look like I care, basically. We get one more segment backstage with the Judgment Day. Roxanne Perez was going mental. She's upset about taking a loss. Raquel, Dom, and JD are back there trying to console her, but Liv Morgan walk in, happy as ever, being super excited that she's gonna be in the Queen of the Ring tournament. She realized, oh, this is a sad time. Roxanne is up there pouting and everything. She says, look, we don't pout in the Judgment Day. We don't pout when we lose opportunities. We take opportunities, you know, and it's going to be all fine, you know, because with the Judgment Day, me and Dom are going to win King of the Ring, Queen of the Ring. And she's like, oh, because everybody got real quiet after they said, I mean, you know, it could be Raquel, it could be JD, you know, it could be, as long as we get a dub for the clubhouse, everything's going to be fine. And then they all head out, and she's like, shaky about that. We get on to our main event of the evening, which is wrestling. We get Seth freaking Rollins versus his former teammate, his former partner in crime, Bron Breakker. The match starts off with them having a big face-off. Seth's like, you hear the crowd, man. You hear the crowd, man. But Bron is not going off. He lifts that man up, tackling back and forth to the corner. But Seth ain't no slouch. He gets him off and starts hitting punches. But Bron, quick as ever, turn around, German suplex on that man. Then he picks him up, hits him with the Irish whip, tries to hit him with a move, but Seth says, sling blade onto him. Basically like a jumping neck breaker in midair. Then he clotheslines him to the outside. You know what that means. Suicide dive to the right side of the ring. Then he hits a suicide dive to the middle side of the ring, the TV side. Then at least Bron, he gets up, he's crawling over to the left side of the ring. He tries to go for the suicide dive again, but this time Bron catch that man and throw that man over the barricade, and that's how we get to our first commercial break. Get back into the ring after that with Bron grabbing him, slim back and forth, but Seth ain't going for it. He starts slapping him back and forth, at least him to get into the tie up. They on the rope. A ref try to break it up between them because Seth been punching him back and forth in the corner. Bron quickly hit that man with another German suplex. It leads him to going outside the ring. Bron grabs him and throws him into the ring post. Then he runs from the side, jumping elbow on Seth Rollins right there. That leads him to start messing with the furniture. He's taking the tabletops off the announce tables. But Seth tries to take advantage. He lifts up Bron Breakker, but Bron Breakker gets back down, knees him in the back, and then puts him back into the ring. Tries to fight him in the corner, but Seth kicks him instead, jumps on the middle rope, tries to do a dive on him, but he gets caught by Seth. He gets caught by Bron. He picks him up for the military press, but Seth reverses out of that and hits him with a big reverse DDT right there. Seth picks him up, clothesline, hit the rope again, clothesline, runs him again. Bron ducks out of it, but he hits him with another big clothesline instead right there. Hits him with a pin. 1, 2, kick out from Bron. But he's still back onto the offense, hits a big knee on the Bron, goes to the apron, hits that man with a springboard swanton. One, two, kick out from Bron though. At least Seth and then going to the top rope again, but Bron jumps up there, hits it with that man with a Breakensteiner, which is basically a Hurricanrana, but he jumps on the top rope. He goes for the pin. One, two, kick out from Seth though. That leads to Seth rolling outside the ring near the announce table. That's when Bron goes onto the apron, does the dive for the apron clothesline, but Seth meets him, intercepts him, jumps with him, boom, double clothesline into each other. It leads to a double down, and we get to our second commercial break. Back from the commercial break though, with Bron Breakker having the advantage, doing the 10 punches on the Seth in the corner. But Seth picks him up for a power bomb. He loses the grip low key, and Bron tries to turn into a triangle choke. But Seth, big strength on him, picks him back up, power bomb him right there. One, two, kick Bron. That leads to Seth getting Bron Breakker on the outside. He tries to do a little John Cena spot. He picks up Bron Breakker while climbing up top the steps to do a little move on the announce table. But Bron gets out of it, punches him down, throws him into the ring post. He gets Seth into the ring. Bron then goes to the top rope, try to do a move off the top rope, but Seth jumps up to the top rope just like Bron does, grabs him, superplex, and then hits him with the Falcon Arrow afterwards. One, two, kick out from Bron though. These dudes was going at it, man. Hits him with a big super kick, and he says it's time to get that stump in, but as soon as he's about to get the stump in, spear by Bron. That leads to Seth then rolling outside onto the ring. But Bron not upset. He grabbed that man. He put him on top of the table. He going to the top of the other table to hit him with a big spear. But midway, catch him. Pedigree by Seth. Looked like he hurt his knee too. He said, He get that man though. He put him back into the ring. Hit him with a pedigree. One, two. Kick out from Bron. He's not going. He really is a dog. And then that leads to the shenanigans. Austin Theory pops up, but Seth ain't going. When Theory gets on the apron, he grab that man, throw that man straight into the ring, then clothesline that man to the outside of the ring. But as it's happening, to take advantage, he tries to spear him, but he ends up hitting the corner. He hits him with a big clothesline, and then he tries to hit him with the stump, but that gets intercepted by Theory because he hit him with a belt shot in the back while the ref was distracted by Paul Heyman. That leads to Montez Ford giving Seth Rollins some help. He jumps into the ring and does the front flip on the Theory on the outside. He getting hyped. But spear by Bron Breakker on him to the outside. Bron tries to get him back into the ring. And he spear on the Seth Rollins. Man, that gotta be it. One, two, kick out from Seth. Bron's going crazy. He doesn't get it. Bron picks up Seth. Seth hit him with the stump. One, two. Nope. Paul Heyman grabs his leg, puts it on the rope. That leads to Seth being, okay. He walks outside the ring. He confronts Paul Heyman. They talking face to face. They arguing. But while they're arguing, they're near a barricade. Bron takes the advantage. He does the run around the whole thing. He goes for the spear. But he misses Seth and hits Paul Heyman instead. Kill that man through the barricade. Bron is upset. He runs into the ring. Tries to go for the spear. He lands it. But he didn't know that Seth had the belt, the tag team belt. He used it as a shield. Boom. He hit his head straight on it. Hit that man with the stump. 1, 2, 3. Big dub for Seth freaking Rollins. That is a 5-star match. I thoroughly enjoyed this. Great back and forth between the men. Usually with shenanigans getting involved, I'll be ducking down points. But you know what? This was good enough to keep the 5-star ranking. Great match between them. I think they're tied 1-1 now. So it's looking like they might have to have another match coming down the line. It's probably gonna be a SummerSlam between them. They cook. This was a really good match between them. Great main event. This is how you finish off a Raw. And that is how you finish off the end of this video, because that is the end of part 2. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you enjoyed WWE 2K26 content, I have this on this channel as well. We just finished the CM Punk Showcase. We're going to be doing the My Rise coming out this month. Remember, y'all, Jesus loves you. And to always keep God first. I'm Twist. I'm out.